Dentistry and General Radio Network presents
DIG's official podcast with Dr. Bob D. In this episode,
Candid started as a direct-to-consumer business in 2017. Even though we were, I think, doing things as well as you possibly could have, the direct-to-consumer business model just doesn't work for dentistry. We took a business that was doing over $100 million in annualized top-line revenue down to zero, and we started again. The idea behind Candid Pro was we could take a lot of the work that we had learned from the orthodontists who had really helped design and build the Candid direct-to-consumer experience and deliver that to general dentists so that they could provide a more accessible, more efficient, and higher clinical outcome and higher quality orthodontic process in their general dentistry chair.
the future of clear aligners, Nick Greenfield on Candid Pro's game-changing model, a discussion with Dr. Bob D.
Hello, everyone. I'm here today with Nick Greenfield, the founder and CEO of Candid Pro. Candid Pro is an aligner company that I've heard a lot of good things about, and I wanted Nick to come here and introduce himself and the company to our audience, and then we will have a case presentation and demo by one of the doctors that using their system. Nick, the floor is yours. Tell me a little about yourself and about the company.
First of all, thanks for having me. Candid Pro is, of course, as the founder and CEO, is near and dear to my heart, but is a long journey. We are almost 9 years in, and the first 5 years of Candid, we were on the dark side. So Candid started as a direct-to-consumer business in 2017 with the goal of making orthodontics more accessible and affordable to the patient population using orthodontists to do all the case setups and managing the treatment that was happening for all the patients on the platform. But nonetheless, we were direct-to-consumer, and for a host of reasons, after about 4.5 years, we decided to fully shut down the direct-to-consumer business well ahead of Smile Direct Club's bankruptcy and Bite being shut down. We recognize a lot of the challenges and flaws in direct-to-consumer. And even though we were, I think, doing things as well as you possibly could have, ultimately, for a combination of both clinical and business reasons, the direct-to-consumer business model just doesn't work for dentistry. You have to go in and see your dentist in person to get care. We made that pivot. We took a business that was doing over $100 million in annualized top line revenue down to zero, and we started again as Candid Pro. And the idea behind Candid Pro was we could take a lot of the work that we had learned from the orthodontists who had really helped design and build the Candid direct-to-consumer experience and deliver that to general dentists so that they could provide a more accessible, more efficient, and higher clinical outcome and higher quality orthodontic process in their general dentistry chair. And so we're about 4 years in from having made that move, and really excited to tell you about the Candid Pro story now, not just the Candid story.
Wow, this is amazing, because one of the things that I talk about is that no company is perfect. My company is included, right? Companies that I like, Nick, are the ones that deal with adversity the proper way, right? The fact that you guys recognized your market, and your market is dentistry, and correct path is one thing, but $100 million, you guys basically took it to zero? Is that what I heard?
Zero. Yeah, we took it to zero. It was obviously a challenging decision, but at the end of the day, if you have a business model and a clinical model that doesn't work the way it's supposed to work, then you can't keep doing that. Our goal is to build a business that can last for decades or 100 years, not to build a business that would be a flash in the pan. And we made the hard decision to do that. We were over 700 employees, 40 plus retail locations that we were running around the country. We had operations and manufacturing facilities, 3 of them. So much going on. And ultimately, I think I know at this point that we absolutely made the right decision, because we now have thousands of dentists who are using the Candid Pro product and delivering great outcomes for their patients and big time changes for their practices in terms of their orthodontic care delivery model. We definitely made the right decision, but it's been a tough 3 or 4 years really fully making it through.
Is that why you lost all your hair? Kind of like me?
That's right. Yes. I had more hair when I started Candid. I'll send you a photo.
It's crazy, but like, I didn't know that piece of information you just gave me, that I thought maybe you had just started and then shut it down. But this was a major business that you guys decided this is not the path we want to be. And you decided to be partners with private practices. And that is why you got my attention at one of the meetings that we met. Now, tell me something, Nick. I'm a little concerned about your business. You've got so much competition. What makes you so different than other aligner companies? If I wanted to start an aligner company now, I would, oh man, this is difficult. Tell me why people should pick Candid Pro.
You can start an aligner company in your garage today with the appropriate licensing, a couple 3D printers. There's great software out there, and boom, you can get it going.
Right.
Right. What we found that there are probably 300 clear aligner labs and companies out
Wow.
there in the US today, and everyone's doing the same thing. It's crazy. You look and you've got the original innovator, the big company in the category that's been around for 25 plus years, and they're far and away the market leader, especially when it comes to the general dental office. And then you have what I would consider just a bunch of generics who said, I want to be a me too. I want to do exactly what they're doing and charge $100 less. But that doesn't solve the pain points and the problems that dentists have. So we went in and we spent many months speaking with and understanding what are the pain points and problems that dentists have. Why aren't more patients being diagnosed and prescribed and ultimately treated to successful outcomes with clear aligners? Turns out that about 90% of general dentists do one clear aligner case or fewer. Of the 10% who do more than that, a lot of them struggle with major challenges. And we said, okay, what are the things that we could design and build that would give the general dentist more confidence to diagnose, prescribe, treat, and keep in-house these patients who were going to direct to consumer. Because remember, even though direct to consumer, the business model didn't work, it showed how much patient demand there is for clear aligners and for orthodontic care. So we went and found what we consider the three most important areas for dentists to unlock. The first is predictability. We heard from dentists that they didn't feel confident diagnosing and treating because they didn't know if they could get a high quality outcome. Most dentists that we spoke with had 0 to 1 days of orthodontic training in dental school. And then when they left dental school, maybe they went to a 1 day course. Oh, this is how you do clear aligners. So the way we solved that was we put a US licensed orthodontist in the software platform, really high quality orthos who've done thousands of clear aligner cases themselves. And we created one-to-one partnership between dentists and orthodontists. So this is interdisciplinary care where the orthodontist will look at every case that you submit, provide a diagnostic evaluation, a review, and help set up the treatment plan. And then perhaps most important is that if you get stuck, let's say the patient gets into a refinement and you don't know what's going on, you have an orthodontist there to help support you as you go. And that support component is really the clinical unlock for dentists to feel confident. Now, that had to be built into the software. We had to create a cohesive experience, build the video interface, build the collaboration platform. So we built all of that and designed it, but combining the interdisciplinary knowledge of the orthodontist with the patient management and patient ownership of that dentist who has that patient who doesn't want to go out for a referral. If they're 35, they've got a busy job, they want to stay with their dentist. So we really created that nexus, and that really broke through. The second component was efficiency. We heard from dentists that they were having these endless appointments for aligners. They thought the case was going to take 8 months, and then it ended up taking 20 months, and the patient just said, I'm done. They weren't actually done at the end. Or they were spending hours and hours doing their treatment planning at home on nights and weekends, and that wasn't a core part of their practice. It wasn't what gave them joy as a dentist. So what we said was, hey, let's integrate the best-in-class patient monitoring experience into the orthodontic opportunities. Once that patient goes into treatment, that patient can scan their teeth every week at home with their smartphone and a scan box, right? So they'll take the smartphone, they'll put the scan box on, and they'll scan, and AI will read automatically how those teeth are tracking, how the aligners are fitting, and either tell the patient, hey, you're ready to move on, or you need to wait another week before moving on. And that will drive more patient compliance and better overall tracking. So what we've seen is faster treatment time, fewer refinements, and overall dramatic reduction in office visits down from 10 to 3. And the last component that we heard from small business owners and DSOs alike, but mostly the small business owner in the dental space, was I want to be driving more take home from my aligner cases, and I want to be able to offer a product at a competitive price point because I don't feel like I can offer something and actually have the take home that I expected to have. I might have a $2,000 lab fee, And then after my $2,000 lab fee, I'm bringing the patient in for 12 or 15 visits, which is eating into my chair time. It's a non-revenue appointment. And then the patient's unhappy at the end, and I might lose the patient because I'm not getting high quality clinical results. So we wanted to solve that take home component. And by bringing those three areas together through that interdisciplinary care with the orthodontist, the efficiency through the monitoring, and then what we think is fair lab fee pricing, and that includes all of the above, combined with a reduction in unnecessary chair appointments, you just get a wholly comprehensive solution. And that's what Candid Pro is today.
That's excellent. I want to kind of recap what you just said in 1 minute. How's that? So you guys solved the problem of us not feeling confident as general dentists by having and U.S. licensed orthodontists actually help in every case. Am I correct by assuming that? I want to tell you that I basically had the same system because my sister-in-law, who's a U.S. licensed orthodontist, helped me in every case that I have done. It doesn't matter what company, and I've used many of them. The second part, I don't think it's clear for most dentists what it means, because although dental monitoring is very popular in Europe and other parts of the world, I think it's very new in the US. And mainly, I want to tell people that basically they use their mobile phone and this device that you guys send them, and with your proprietary software, you can track. And the software not only tells the patient what's going on, if there's something going on, you guys get an alert, correct? To call the dentist. Am I correct to assume that?
Yeah, that's right. Imagine having a virtual reality box that goes into the patient's mouth and links into the phone. And in 2 minutes in the mirror, they capture hundreds of images that generate this model of how the teeth are tracking. And that is, it can see better than the human eye in terms of what's moving and what's not. So it's really good for in-treatment management, where instead of an office visit or an aligner check, that patient every week can scan. And it not only does it drive the scanning behavior, it drives compliance, because now the patient is getting this gamified, hey, it's not every week change your aligner. It's, no, you're going to have to take your scan. And if you haven't been wearing your aligners, we're going to know about it. And that's one of the just biggest challenges with ortho. It's that you can make the best treatment plan in the world, but if the patient wears their aligners 14 hours a day, you're SOL, right? So this unifies and brings that together, and it really helps dentists drive compliance and behavior, because you can say to the patient, if you take your scan every week and you're wearing your aligners, then we're going to get a much better result. And the last thing is, then you have the finishing and occlusal calibration. So at the very end, we have a lot of dentists like to bring the patient in to make sure everything's perfectly calibrated, because the monitoring captures some but not all of that. So usually we'll see docs have that kind of finishing appointment at the end, and then order retainers for that patient at the very end.
And I want to bring this up, and says, if you're someone listening to this and considering Candid Pro, which I advise you to do so, these are recommended. If some dentist wants to see their patient every 3 weeks, on top of the monitoring, you can do whatever you want. It's just the fact that now you have someone else watching. And if something is not there, you don't wait until the very end, try to course correct? This is really important to catch it early.
It's like you're driving a car and the car has lane assist, where it tells you, hey, you're leaving the lane, right? And you're drifting, and it's going to put that patient back on. You can always turn it off. You can say, look, I like the system. I like the way the aligners fit. We reduce attachments. About 80% of cases don't have attachments on the first set of aligners. And then if you need them in refinement, you can add them, because that's better for patients. It's better for the assistants in putting the attachments on. They get really good, high quality results, minimizing those attachments. All of that is great, but you're the doctor. So at the end of the day, if you want no monitoring, if you want, hey, I want an attachment on every tooth, that's your prerogative, but you can work with the ortho, again, in that interdisciplinary care, to figure out what are your preferences to make sure we get it right for you.
Excellent. And again, you talked about the cost and the ROI or things like that. And people who listen to me know that I don't really care about that stuff. And that stuff comes as a result of being a good doctor and using good products. And Candid Pro is with us because it's a good product and good people, and we can get results. So do you have anything else to add at the end? This is like a quick introduction who Candid Pro is, and then we're going to have basically a lecture by a doctor who uses your product.
Yeah, I'm just really excited to be partnering with you and focusing on great products, I think, is absolutely the way that doctors get good results and patients get great results, and patients want to keep coming back and refer their friends. And so we hope the Candid Pro can be part of your practice to help you grow, but also to help your patients get the highest quality outcomes in ortho.
Awesome. Thanks a lot, Nick, and hopefully we'll talk to you soon.
Thanks.
This has been a production of Dentistry in General Radio Network. Visit our website, dentistryingeneral.com, to join engaging clinical and business conversations, explore our dental podcasts, and stay updated on our upcoming live events.